So, one question is it watching the body sensation through breath, or is some?
That's there, part of it, but it's not the whole.
It's not totally that.
It's not totally.
Okay, thank you.
It is there. Breath watching is there.
Okay.
That's popularly known, right?
No,
Anapanasati.
what I am asking is there link between breath watching and body sensation. It is partial or it is complete. It's partial or it is no link.
No, I don't want to tell all that. But
Okay,
breath watching is there.
Okay.
And that's popular. Everybody talks now. Anapanasati.
Yeah.
It's breath watching. Ana means prana. Pana means apana. So prana, apana, watching. But that word sati, you know what that, it's a Pali word. You know what is the original Samskrita word of that?
No.
Huh? Now, why I am telling about this is I found it interesting because it is there in Yoga Sutra also. And in Yoga Sutras, this word is misunderstood. I have read so many commentaries, and even I didn't understand why this word is there. In Sanskrit, the word is Smriti.
Smriti.
Wait. The word is Smriti. Okay. But what is the usual meaning of the word Smriti?
Memory.
Memory means something you have stored, and bringing up memory means bringing up thought. Okay. But the whole process of yoga or spirituality is to heighten your awareness, not heighten your thought. There is a sutra in Patanjali Yoga Sutra where he lists 5 faculties which are Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna. It's there in the sutra. Okay. Now leave that. I'm not going to explain the sutra as such. So it says these 5 faculties a seeker uses to liberate himself. Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna. Now the rest 4 I understand. Shraddha means there is a strong conviction. There's a strong hunger in you which makes you realize there is something more, that there is something called food. So you have a strong Shraddha. Virya means strong energy, force, momentum in you. Samadhi means focusing, concentration. Prajna means insight, looking into things clearly, clarity. Very well. Smriti means memory. That is the usual meaning. I have looked into this sutra and I was simply not understanding how can memory liberate you? Because the liberation is from memory. Whatever reactions are happening, they're happening out of memory, the stored imprints. Now, whatever we are doing is to come out of that automation. Now, how can Smriti become a faculty to liberate yourself? I didn't understand this at all. And I have read some, I don't know if it's correctly told in any commentary, but most commentaries tell Smriti, memory. Memory is a faculty. You use memory to liberate yourself. And I simply couldn't understand how. This is because Yoga Sutra has continued only as an intellectual tradition. A live school is no more there. I know many people call themselves as Patanjali yoga practitioners, but just like this Vipassana Buddhist school, which has continued from generation to generation, it has been passed on without any deformation. Like that, Patanjali school is not there anywhere actually, which goes back to Patanjali strictly. Simply, I will learn Patanjali Yoga Sutra and I will start a school, Patanjali school. But Patanjali's process has not been, it has not remained probably. That live process, as a living process, it has no more remained. So it has continued only as an intellectual tradition. So only the meanings are transmitted, and at some point the meanings will be lost and it becomes totally something else. But Buddhism is a tradition. It is not just a philosophical tradition which continued. It continued as a living process. So there, they clearly differentiate this. There are two meanings to the word Smriti. One is memory, another is mindfulness. In English, if you put it today. It is related to memory, but it is not memory. You see, if I tell you, you have to be mindful, it means reminding yourself. If they say you have to be mindful of your eating, if you have to be mindful of your breath, mindful of walking, being mindful initially involves reminding yourself of coming out of that automation. Otherwise, you will get carried away. You'll start thinking something. Then you have to remind, okay, I have to observe my breath. I have to observe whatever I'm doing. So it involves the element of reminding yourself. So reminding yourself or mindfulness is the other meaning of Smriti. It's not memory. Smriti, so if you see its opposite meanings. Memory, if you involve in memory, you are losing awareness. If you remind yourself, you are coming to awareness. You are becoming more and more aware. So there are two opposite meanings to that word. So anapanasati means mindful of your breath, not memory of your breath. Smriti became sati in Pali. And in Pali, in their tradition, that the actual meaning of that word has been preserved because the practice is preserved. It's no more just a philosophy that preserved. Whatever sutra is there, the Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, the same revelation is there in Buddha's revelations. He also lists these five as the most important faculties for a seeker. So anyway, I just wanted to share this. This word Smriti had two opposite meanings in India at that time. It was there in India. It was not Buddhist invention. Because the word is there, exact same thing is there in Yoga Sutra, same thing is there in Buddhist philosophies. But in Buddhist, the differentiation is there because the life practice was maintained. So they know that it is mindfulness, not memory. So these words can create a lot of mischief. Just if a tradition continues only as an intellectual tradition, it can create a lot of mischief. It has created. It has happened today also. If you look at the language today, there are so many words which we use in opposite ways. See, for example, the word apparent, in the English word apparent. The word apparent can be used in opposite meanings. Apparent can mean something too obvious, that's how it is. Apparent can also mean appearance. That's how it looks, but that's not actually how it is. Yes? So if you use the word, suppose I wrote some spiritual book today, I use the word apparent in my sutra. How after 2 centuries, for example, one of the meanings of apparent is gone. They're only using it, only one meaning. But I'm using it in both meanings in my sutras. How will they know? Because the language has changed in the society. Language keeps changing. Like this Smriti, in any of the Indian languages today, none of the Indian languages, we are using Smriti to mean awareness or mindfulness. Smriti only means memory. That's the only meaning that has survived today. Isn't it? In all our today's language, Indian language. The other meaning is lost, but it was there very obviously. See Yoga Sutras, it is there. See Buddha's literature, it is there. 2,500 years ago, Smriti had two meanings. But you know what some people are doing? I saw Yoga Sutras. Some people have written commentary, and the rule that they have followed, and they think they're being very strict with that rule. The rule that they have followed is a particular word should be given consistent meaning throughout the scripture. That is their rule, their self-described rule. And they have made up that rule and they have written a commentary to Patanjali Yoga Sutra with this rule. So if this word comes in first chapter and fourth chapter, I will use a consistent meaning. If you go like this with your stupid rules, you may feel very good. I'm not changing meanings as convenient. I'm being rigorous in my interpretation. Eventually, it's foolish only. Because in Patanjali's time, the word had two meanings. What will you do now? So in one sutra, in the very beginning, when he says 5 vrittis, he says pramana, viparya, vikalpa, nidra, smritaya. Smriti is a vritti there. Whereas later he talks of smriti as a spiritual seeker's faculty to come out of bondage. So how will you reconcile this? On the one hand, he's saying smriti is a vritti and vritti nirodha has to be done. On the other hand, he's saying smriti is a faculty you should use. See what intellectual traditions have done. When I saw this, I was laughing because I have studied, I have gone through Yoga Sutras, I have even taught Yoga Sutras. I didn't know this because it's a scripture from I don't know how long ago. You can't simply read it and understand it. This is one of the fundamental problems with scriptures.